How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Mentor Monday. Mentor Monday is your weekly microdose of encouragement, inspiration, and miracle grow on your potential as a coach. Before we start, do me a huge favor, jump inside of the chat. Let us know that you are here. Tell us where you're joining us from, what you're excited about, what you feel life and momentum on. If I look a little bit weird, if I move in a strange way tonight or something like that, it's not normal. I actually have a leg injury from the weekend. So I'm doing the best that I can. Show up in a little bit of pain, sitting. I will probably be as excited as usual. I just may not be as animated because I'm having to sit. And so doing what I can, but showing up for you guys. Hey, jump inside the chat. Let us know that you are here. Joan's joining us from Bakersfield. Good to see you, Joan. Sonia is joining us from Canada. If you would, jump inside of the chat and let us know that you are here. Tell us where you're joining us from. Also, do me a huge favor. Like this post and share it. That tells Facebook and YouTube that we're doing a good job. And if you've ever joined us on a Mentor Monday, or even if you haven't, listen, you can preemptively do that. And what we will do is if like I don't show up and do what I said that I was going to do, you can always take your like back at any time. Like we might get 10 minutes into it and you'd be like, Paul, take your like back and you can leave. But I think it's going to be well worth your time. We have a 4-word mission statement at Life Coach Training Institute. It is proficient coaches, thriving practices. And we're kind of bringing both of those things together in this particular series where we are talking about built to coach different. And we're looking at your signature frequency, your amplifier frequency, and how that connects in terms of making you an authentic coach, helping you get better results. And tonight, specifically talking about getting clients through that frequency. But do me a huge favor, jump inside of the chat. Let us know that you are here. Dan saying hello from Indiana. Excited for tonight's class. Awesome. Well, thank you for that, Sonia. And if you have it, if you've already done CFQ, jump inside of the chat and let us know your signature and amplifier frequency. So put those down. And if you're joining us for the first time and you're like, I don't even know what that is and I don't have it. Well, by the time we're done, I'll give you a free link where you can take the assessment and then you will know. It'll also be a free link to get the full course download and the book and the quick reference guide to your signature and amplifier frequency. It's going to help you become a better coach and help you get clients. So jump inside of the chat. Let us know those things. Also, let us know that you are here. Tell us where you're joining us from and what you're excited about tonight. Frank is saying hello from Seaverville, Tennessee. Lois is joining us from Battle Creek, Michigan. Good to see you. Joan says mirror anchor. That are her two signature her signature and amplifier frequency. If you've already taken CFQ, throw that into the chat right now. Your signature frequency and your amplifier frequency. You can just put it first, little slash, and then what's your amplifier. That would be great. Who else? Lois says I am or Sonia says I am a mirror and an anchor. Lois says that I am a mirror and an anchor. Is there anybody who's not a mirror and an anchor tonight? Go ahead and share that. Daniel says I'm a mirror and an architect. There you go. Tina's joining us from Wyoming again. Let us know that you are here. If you're noticing my framing looks a little bit different, if I'm looking awkward as I'm moving around, it's because I have a leg injury from the weekend and I can't really stand up or anything. I mean, I can, but it's really painful. And I'd rather you not look at my wincing on my face. Like I'm in pain now, but less pain getting to sit and have my foot propped up. But I'm going to try to make tonight as engaging and as good as it always is for all of you. Who else? Shailene's joining us from Northern Utah. Mirror and anchor. Mirrors and anchors are taking over tonight. Is there anybody else? Daniel is a mirror and an architect. Anybody else? Do I have any movers in the room? Do I have any seers in the room? Maybe. Do I have any anybody who doesn't fit in one of those? I know, or anybody who's got an architect as that's your signature? Go ahead and throw that in there. Again, keep your comments coming in. Let us know that you are here. And we are going to jump into the content that we are talking about this week. And we are in our fourth and final week of this series called Built to Coach Differently. And what I've tried to do in this particular series is that I'm borrowing off of what we've learned in CFQ. Granted, I could take more weeks, I could take months, but really what I wanted to do, because we only had 1 week some weeks ago where I kind of introduced CFQ to everybody, then I finished up with that series that we are in. What I wanted to do is I wanted to come back and give you some more nuggets and to give you some more handles on this thing. The deep dive on what CFQ is. And what is CFQ? It's coaching frequency quotient. Trying to get it out of my mouth. Coaching frequency quotient. And really, what I've learned in all of my years of working with coaches is that there's about 5 styles that I see, 5 primary frequencies that I see coming from our coaches all the time. Now, the interesting thing about it is that this does not come as a byproduct of training. This comes as a byproduct of actually who you are and how you're wired. So, what we're really talking about is coaching within your design and within your wiring. Now, about half of coaches will find their mirror frequency being their signature frequency. The rest of us are more rare types. For instance, I'm a mover. And so movers have a particular way that we show up, but it's also a particular kind of client that we attract and a lot of these other things. This is what you get to learn in the 5 frequencies of coaching. That's the course that has the assessment. Again, it's all free. So I'll give you guys a link so that you can do that in just a little bit. If you have not taken the assessment, you can take it. You can get all of the information from the free course, including a quick reference guide for your frequency as far as that's concerned. So let me say this really quick. If you want the slides, here's how you get them. Text the word slides, only the word slides, to 833-258-7547. So all the beautiful slides that I show you tonight, you will have that in a download, and I'll give you about 20 seconds to be able to do that. Meanwhile, I have a drink of water. Maybe I could tell you how I got injured this weekend. Got injured this weekend because I didn't listen to my wife. That's plain and simple what happened. I had a friend of mine, and it's interesting because some weeks ago, I was sitting with this group of people, and this old friend comes up and he sits next. He walks up by a younger friend of mine, and he says, "Hey, I'm putting together a softball team," because he plays year round. And he proceeds to recruit this person. And I'm sitting there like, I guess I'm chopped liver. Maybe I'm a little bit old now, but there's some athleticism still living here or whatever. Well, anyway, he didn't ask me, but I ended up being asked to sub because they were short on their team going into last night. And I'm like, yeah, put me in, coach, but at least put me in right field or left field or something, somewhere where the balls aren't going to be hit or whatever. So tell him that. Show up, try to stretch. I have not played in a real game with umpires and something that counts since literally I thought about it, my last at bat when I was 13 years old in All Stars. So fast forward in doing that at age 50, and I don't run, folks. So I was in the outfield, minding my own business, fielded a couple of balls, all good and everything else, till I ran to first base when I hit the ball, and I felt something kind of kick in my hamstring. And then I got out into the outfield after that, and there was finally a really big, like all the way to the warning track, almost a home run. And when I went running after it, I finished it, folks. I finished. See, it's always good if you're going to start something that you finish it. I guess that's one bright way of seeing it. So I felt it kind of roll up in my leg. Not good, but we will be better next week. Okay, everybody, got those slides. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to bother you guys with a long drawn out story. You did not ask for that. You asked for tonight's content. So tonight we're talking about the real reason clients aren't biting. Now, if you've ever been around me any length of time, you know that I preach to coaches all the time that you should choose a niche. So I'm going to bring that niche language together with your frequency so that you can understand how these things work together, because your frequency is one of those things that really helps you uncover who your ideal client is. But most coaches come in the door and they're just kind of like, well, if I'm a life coach, then I can help anybody with anything. And that's true, except for the fact that just because you could help someone with anything does not mean that you should. So what ends up happening is that coaches generally go through other people. If they go through other people's training programs, they do not learn about the business end of things, and they don't learn about niches and the importance of it. So what a lot of coaches do is that they'll walk around with their brand new certificate and they have no idea how to find their ideal client and why, if they're putting some stuff out there, it's not attracting anyone. And what most coaches do as well is that they imitate what other coaches are doing. And I'll tell you this, if you don't know if what they're doing is actually hitting their ideal client or reaching them, nor do you know that that coach, even if they seem to have 10,000 followers, are making any money. Because hint, hint, there's a lot of people with followers that that are not making any money, including influencers. Just so you know that. So borrowing off of this niche language, and I will say this, we do have an entire series, I believe it's 7 parts long, where I walk you through step by step how to choose your coaching niche. So I've got more questions and I've got more information about that. It's on our website, ilifecoachtraining.com. It's also on our YouTube channel, because if you're watching on YouTube, you can just click on channel, go to our playlist, and you will find that there. So I'm not going to repeat all that information, but I'll borrow off of a couple of nuggets off of it. So what's the real reason why clients aren't biting? Well, first reason I would say is you probably don't know who you are as a coach. So that since you don't know who you are as a coach, that's an identity crisis. So you know what a lot of coaches try to do? They try to imitate what other people are doing, and it's not authentic, and it doesn't resonate, and it doesn't connect for a few different reasons. One reason that I always tell coaches is that you should be wrapping your coaching practice around who you are as a coach and not trying to do what other people are doing. For one, because it's got to be authentic. Your ideal client gets attracted to you through your frequency because we are in a relational business. We are not in just a regular product and service where if they work with me or they work with Dan or they work with Joan or whatever, it's pretty much the same. It's not the same. So people are going to work with you for different reasons than they're going to work with me. And here's what I will tell you is that they want to work with you. They don't want to work with me. So be certain parts of my frequency and the way that I show up as a coach and inside of my signature style that does not resonate with other people. So here's what happens is that when you try to be somebody besides who you are and do what somebody else is doing, you don't resonate and it sounds inauthentic. And what happens is that your frequency, your people are looking for your frequency. They're looking for you to connect with you, but they're hearing something else come out of your mouth. They're seeing marketing, they're seeing your social media that looks like somebody else. So you end up missing who your ideal client is with that. So the first thing that I would say is that most coaches don't really know who they are, and that you probably haven't figured out who your ideal client is. So again, I'm not going to repeat all of the niche information, but I will say that on our website, on our YouTube, we have an extensive series on how to choose your coaching niche. And it's about 7 parts long, and it's chock full of questions, and it'll help you even think a little bit deeper about this. But it's all relevant. I'm going to give you some new stuff to add with that tonight with regard to frequency. Third thing that I would say, you sound like every other coach out there trying to help everyone live their best life instead of operating in your own genuine frequency that naturally attracts your ideal client. Because, and here's the thing that I would tell you, no one is looking for a coach to live their best life. People are not waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning in a cold sweat out of a nightmare saying, I just want to live my best life. It's not keeping them up at night. No one's thinking that. So why are we saying this? If you're saying it's because you saw some other coach do it. But what are the things that keep your ideal client up at night? What are the things that would wake your ideal client wake up in a cold sweat that they're thinking about every day, that is painful for them, that's uncomfortable, that they are ruminating about or whatever? See, that thing, that's why it's so important for you to find a niche, because people buy the answers to problems. They don't buy pleasure, they buy the answer to problems. Pain is a greater motivator than pleasure. Pain's a greater motivator to hire a coach than live your best life or any of those other things are. And that's why you've got to find a high quality pain point that your coaching actually addresses. Now, if you're not clear and you have not chosen a niche, you've actually created a bottleneck for your business. But I don't want you worried about that because because it's easy to fix. And I'm going to begin to help you do that tonight. You cannot attract clients without a niche, because what I've always said is that a coach without a niche is like a business without a sign or without a door. Have you ever been to a commercial, like a little business park or a little shopping center, and you knew that there was a business there, but you couldn't find it? But you can see where Joann's is, you can see where Smart and Final is. You can see where the pet shop is. You can see where the dry cleaners is, but you can't see where anything else is. Well, a sign would be really, really helpful. So you're not serving your ideal client, you're not serving your customers well if you don't have a sign over your business. Sign does a couple of things. The sign says, hey, here's where we're at. The sign says, here's what you get if you come inside of this door. Here's what the sign says. We do this, we do not do this. These are the problems. It's no secret. This is what you should be finding help inside here under the sign. So a niche gives a sign, but it also gives a door. The door is not there to keep anybody out except the wrong kinds of people. The door is actually there for people to find a way in, but you're not here to work with everybody. Just because you could work with everybody doesn't mean that you should. You will not do your best work with everybody. You will not do your best work with every problem that's under the sun. You will not do your best work with people like I coached that have money and had a pulse. Those are not ideal clients for you. You will not get the best results, nor will you be very satisfied inside of your coaching business. So, newsflash, no one knows what coaching is. That in and of itself can create a bottleneck if you're out there trying to sell coaching packages. Would you like to buy 4 sessions for $1,000? Would you like to buy 4 sessions for $400? And they're 1 hour long sessions. And so people are kind of like, what am I actually paying for here? And then you know what coaches do? They'll put on their website, click here. What is life coaching? Click here. What is life coaching? And it's going to say something like, coaching is partnering with you to help you discover what your ideal life is and your goals. And I offer support and accountability. And they're like, I don't want that. Because if you're having to educate people on what coaching is, it's an effort and futility. Even if you were successful in explaining what coaching is, and let me tell you this, I have not met a coach yet, nor a coach trainer, no one in all of these years in the industry, even as much as I know about coaching, I have never been able to explain coaching to someone. Coaching has to be experienced. So that's why you don't sell coaching. If you have to educate someone on something, that's no way of selling anything. So you're not going to get any bites if you're having to sell coaching to people. Okay. I know we're in coaching, but no one cares about how they get the result. I'll give you an example. If I am a mom, I'm using one of the examples of one of our coaches. If I am a mom of toddlers and I have mom guilt because I scream at my kids, this is coming from one of our real coaches. I'm not looking for a coach who's saying live your best life. I'm not even thinking about a coach being able to address that problem. But if somebody told me, because I've got guilt, because I want to have intimacy with my kid, I went out all day, I had a big plan, we were going to have a picnic and I was going to bring them into the park, and it ended up being a mess. I ended up yelling at my kid, and then I'm crying, and it was just a terrible day for everybody. Like, if that's what I'm carrying, and that's heavy, because something like that is connected to your role, your identity. It is keeping you up at night. It is waking you up in the middle of the night, and you feel guilty. And so anything that you'd want is to get rid of that guilt, have an actual solution to that. Well, if somebody told you, I have a solution to mom guilt when it comes to raising your kids, and and it'll make you stop yelling at your kids and make you start doing these other things. A mom would be like, I don't care if you tell me to stand on my head or to write, to sign all of my checks with crayon or whatever you tell me to do, I will do it if that's actually a solution. I want you to understand, we know what we're doing as coaches and we believe in it. No one cares to buy coaching. They want a solution to the problem that they have. So to sell anything, you've got to be clear about who it's for. You got to be clear about what problems that it helps them solve. And you got to be clear about how your coaching is the solution. Now, what does CFQ and your signature frequency have to do with it? Well, your signature frequency helps you find your niche. Because most niche exercises that I see out there, they start from the outside in. Who do you want to help? So they're outside in. They're not even thinking about the inside. And you know what people do sometimes? They do what they're like, well, where's the money at? And I'll have people ask me that. Coaches will ask me that. Well, where's the money at? I'm like, it's everywhere. That's not your first question, is where's the money at? Because you're already coming from a scarce mindset with that question anyway. You'll be like I was when I went to college and I was pre-med, like so many other people. You know why we were pre-med? Because everybody thought you could make money in the medical field, and you can. Nothing wrong with that. Except when I started doing clinical work in the hospital, after I got into a prestigious program, I realized I really hate dealing with sick people. I don't have a whole lot of capacity for this. I'm a germaphobe. There was all kinds of things wrong. So I would hide out in the filing area because we would all have to have a little shift through there. And I would take the other students' shift and just focus on doing paperwork and stuff like that because I didn't want to deal with sick people. See, this is what coaches do when they come out of the gate doing a coaching niche assessment and they're only thinking about money or going outside in. Coaching frequency starts from the inside out. Who are you naturally wired to help? And what your frequency does is it informs what kinds of problems you're best at solving. It'll also inform what kind of people you will actually enjoy working with. Wouldn't that be great? And your frequency informs what coaching feels natural to you instead of it being a force or feeling like a force. So let me give you some examples on this. Frequency plus problem is the start of a real niche. Remember, every niche has to have a problem. A niche has a people and it has a problem, and obviously it has a solution as well, because that's what your coaching is doing. So before and after, you're giving them a solution, a life that they want. It's less of this, more of this, right? Well, here's how you utilize your frequency with that. For those of you who are mirror coaches, and there's a lot of people in the room, hey, if you're a mirror coach, jump inside of the chat right now. Let me know that your signature frequency is mirror. Like I said, there's a lot of mirror coaches in here. Joan is, Lois is, Sonia is, Daniel is. That is a signature. Shailene is a mirror as their signature style. So, what are mirror coaches? Well, mirror coaches are relational reflectors. You mirror coaches, you thrive emotionally with emotionally open, heart first clients who crave self understanding and personal alignment. This is who you should be looking for. So, if I was going to attract these people, then I need to talk in a certain way to those particular people. So, what I want you to do is I want you to hone all of your messaging. So, if you are on YouTube, if you are on Facebook, if you are on TikTok, if you are on Instagram, if you are doing anything with video or anything with text or anything with imagery, you need to hone your messaging, because here's the frequency that they are listening for. Hone your messaging. Talk about things like self-doubt. Talk about loss of identity, emotional overwhelm, needing clarity after a life shakeup. Say things like feel seen, find your center, get back to who you really are. See, the language of your frequency not only allows them to allows you to build rapport because you're talking about what the problem is, but you're also building rapport because you are that person who's showing up for them to hold space. Now, it differs if you're in a different frequency. For those of you who are movers, oh, and I just see Inez just posted on here, I am a mover. Well, what should Inez be thinking about when it comes to this? Well, mover coaches, as I've said before, are catalytic. You thrive with high stakes, high drive clients who want momentum now. That's very different than someone who is a mirror, isn't it? So, how does it work for a mover? How do you hone your messaging if you're a mover? Well, talk about impatience for change. Talk about urgency. Talk about feeling stuck or in transition. Talk about being ready to take the leap. This is what's true for your people. Use phrases like make it happen, stop overthinking, get in motion. See the language of motion, the language of moving, the language of taking action, the language of impatience. You know, they always say patience is a virtue, but I always used to joke impatience is a virtue as well. It all depends on perspective. See, patience is a virtue for some people. It is not a virtue for other people. Anyway, for those of you who are in the room and you are a seer coach, any seer coaches in the room? Seers are intuitive visionaries. You thrive with deep thinking clients who are in search of meaning, direction, or inner truth. Now, knowing that that is who your ideal client is, you've got to hone your messaging for them. Talk about crossroads. Talk about soul level decisions, creative ruts, wanting deeper alignment. You can use words like see the bigger picture, unlock clarity. These are the people who are going to be like purpose actually means something to them. Connectedness means something to them. So that's the kind of language that you would actually use. Now, for those of you who are anchor coaches, and I know some of you have that as your amplifier frequency, any anchors in the room is your signature. Anchors are stabilizers. You thrive with overwhelmed, overextended clients who need grounding and consistency. So you're going to want to hone your messaging as well. See, this is why it would be very bad for an anchor coach to come out on their social media and they're all like animated and all this energy and all this like this exhaustive, like anxiety kind of stuff. Like you see some coaches who are doing that. And is that what coaches do to attract people? Well, that will attract some people, but that will be very bad for you anchor coaches because your messaging for those people needs to be about burnout, constant pressure, people pleasing, chaotic schedules. So you use language like create calm, set boundaries that stick, or finally feel in control again. Now, architect coaches. You architects are strategic problem solvers. You thrive with clients who are driven, but they need systems, they need structure, they need a smarter way forward. So, what does that look like? Well, you got to hone your messaging as well. Now, am I right in thinking that Dan is an architect? Is that what I saw earlier? Dan, did you say you're an architect? No, he said he was excited there. Where's Dan at in here? Dan is a mirror architect. Okay, so find them. So any architects in the room, you need to hone your messaging. Talk about disorganization. Talk about mental clutter, analysis paralysis, scaling a goal. And you can use lines like build a plan, design what works, make your next move, make sense. You want to make sure that they can see that there's real steps, that there's a structure. So the people who are looking for that, you being able to talk in those terms gives them peace and makes them connect with you. Now, let me give you a final thought. 3 quick questions here, okay? 1, what kind of client lights you up? Again, if you don't know, then go to our series on choosing a niche and we'll help you really dial that in. But what kind of client lights you up? What problem? Oh, I got 2 twos there. What problem do they bring that you love solving? Because there's going to be a problem that lights you up, just like there is a kind of person that lights you up. And three, oh, there's another three. What is it about your frequency that helps solve it? This will help you dive in your niche a little bit more. What are those five frequencies? Well, they are mover, they are anchor, architect, mirror, and seer. Now, if you don't know what your frequency is, here's how you do that. You can discover it free. We're going to give you a course. We're going to give you a 40-page book, and we're going to give you a CFQ implementation guide, as well as videos to go along with every frequency that you learn. Now, all of this is completely free. If you want to get that, you can take the free CFQ assessment by going to ilifecoachtraining.com/CFQ. You can also just text CFQ to 833-258-7547. That will get you the link to CFQ so that you can take it. Obviously, you can just go, easiest thing, ilifecoachtraining.com/CFQ, and you can get started on it. It'll take you about 15 minutes to knock out the assessment, and then you'll have access to all of those resources to help you. Now, this weekend's going to be a big one. Yes, this weekend's one-day life coach certification training accelerator. We designed this particular program for you overbooked people and you procrastinating people and you overbooked procrastinating people. Because some of you are like, I'm never going to get through a self-paced course, and that's why you haven't done it. Some of you are like, a weekend is too long. How can I take a weekend off? That's the only time I get with my family. And some of you are like, well, I didn't know this existed before today, before this moment. Here's what we did. We took the best from the life coach certification course. We took the best from our weekend boot camp. We put it together and we streamlined it. It is a 12-hour day. You get all of the core modules of the life coach certification course, life coaching boot camp, and it's only $195. You're going to get a full 12-hour training. So it's going to be 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. If you're on Eastern time, that would be 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. If you are on Central time, that is 9 to 9. You knock all of your lecture training out of the way. And you're also going to get included brandable templates because you're going to need onboarding documents to start working with clients. We have already put that together. We're saving you hundreds of dollars and at least 100 hours of development on that. Because if you don't have it, you're going to have to buy it somewhere. We do it for you. So you're going to get access to that. You're going to get the coaching tool starter kit. We give you 6 tools to start with, and we give you hundreds of question samples so that you can start out of the gate. Like there's nothing that actually would keep you from working with your clients after you knock out any of our certification program, because everything that you need to start up is actually there. Now, you're going to get a life coach certification. Obviously, you're going to get your certificate, and you're going to get access to bonus live Tuesday night coach training. Because some of you are like, well, that's great for a Saturday, and it's a simu-live experience. So you're going to go through it. You're going to go through a session. You're going to get a 15-minute break. We're going to get another session, a 15-minute break. This is about get her done. We want you to get done on Saturday so that you can turn in your assignments and you can take the exam. So this is the most streamlined, effective training that we could possibly put together for you. Now, what's actually included? Well, it's a seven powerful sessions from the Life Coach Certification course. But again, this is simu-live. So what have we done? We've cut out all of the fluff. We've kept all the good stuff. And it's a power-packed, most accelerated Life Coach Certification program that you can find. The value is $3,500. The cost is only $195. We would love for you to enroll. That link is inside the description of this video right now, and you can get enrolled because Accelerator is actually this Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern. Oh, come on, Paul. It's the pain talking. It's wearing me out. 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Central, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. And you knock all that training out of the way. You just need to take the exam, and you've earned your certificate. And you'll, again, continue to have access to Tuesday nights where you can get your questions answered, where you can work with other coaches, where you can practice, all of those things. Now, those of you who are looking for that self-paced way of doing it, we still have our Life Coach Certification course. It is the same 7 core modules that you see: foundations of coaching, the anatomy of a dynamic coaching session, how to listen on a transformational level, how to help your clients get extraordinary results, how to establish a growing coaching practice, how to ask powerful questions. And you're also going to have included live coaching practice with feedback, as well as live Q&As. This is 30 hours of training. It includes the live Tuesday night coach training. It includes Q&As, role playing, the opportunity to connect with other coaches. You're going to get the same brandable onboarding documents, welcome pack that you're going to need to start your business, as well as a coaching tool starter pack. You're also going to get a free listing on lifecoachmatch.com. And yes, you will get a certificate for only $195. This is a $3,500 value. You're going to get mastery. You're going to get credibility. You're going to live into your purpose, and you're going to start with financial and time freedom to do what you want with no debt. We are sales commission free. This is why we're so affordable. Most programs are giving at least 50% of your tuition to a sales team to close it for them. And then the rest goes to salaries and all of that other stuff. But if you ever look at those programs and you're wondering why they're so expensive, ours would have to be very expensive as well if we were going to be paying closers, because closers aren't going to close a deal for less than 2 to 5 grand a deal. So this is where all your money is going to. I just want you to know how it works. But we make it a no-brainer. Like if you need to have a discussion with somebody about spending $195, if you need to talk to a salesperson before you spend $195, then you're just not ready to become a coach yet. Because that's the most affordable into the industry with an accredited program, a credible program, the largest life coach training program in North America, that also gives you the business development steps to start and has ongoing support and also has live training. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's coming close to it. The links to both of these programs are inside the description of this video. Thanks for being so patient with me this week. Like I said, I injured my leg. I'm in a lot of pain, but I didn't want to leave you guys hanging. Wanted to finish this series up, and we did. So if you came in late, you can watch the replay. We'll go right back to the beginning, and you can get the slides and all those other things. Make sure you click the link inside the description of this video. Get enrolled for this weekend. It is 1 day life coach certification training accelerator where you can knock all of your lecture training out in 1 day. And then as soon as you're done, you can turn in your assignments, take the exam, and you are done. Let's do this. You've been thinking about it. If you've Googled it more than 2 or 3 times, you are a procrastinator. This is why you need this program. Let's just enroll, and we will see you Saturday. Listen, I appreciate you guys all immensely. Have a great rest of your week, and take care.